Hey guys, welcome to my stream. And I think my co-host is a little bit late or something has happened, which is a little bit odd. This has been interesting waiting, and this has not happened to me before, so well, I believe he's popping in soon enough. And I actually really hope he will pop up. Hey Cynthia, good to see you. So how are you doing, Cynthia? I hope you're okay. But anyway, it's good to see you. Well, my day has been pretty tough, but I managed. Tough day at work, and I have been looking forward to this stream, and I wonder. I hope my co-host remember that he should pop in today, or otherwise he has forgot it. But let's hope he has not forgot, because that would make everything a little bit awkward to me. So, and besides, I hope there will pop in a lot more guys, more people anyway. So, well, we wait and see, and let's see what happens. So, well, you can't be lucky every time, but I hope he really pops up. Maybe he's late or something happened. I don't know, but well, I guess we have to wait and see what's happened. And I hope you have a great day, Cynthia. So today's topic is basically prepping in general. So, but it is hard when you don't have a co-host, but I hope this has to work anyway. So, and we wait a couple of minutes and see if someone more will pop in here or drop in or whatever they do. So, I hope you liked the clip I had in the beginning. So, well, I worked on that clip a couple of days ago. So, and I tried to find something that would fit, and it did. So I was happy with that. Well. 5 minutes 22 seconds. And where is my co-host? I begin to be a little bit worried, but I hope he shows up. That would be awesome. And he has not popped up yet. Maybe he's might. Nope, no mail. Yeah, that was only a reminder that I just go live. So well, one person in the who's watching, well, that is better than nothing. So we wait and see if there pops in more. I really hope so, or otherwise, just talking to myself would be pretty boring. It's always nice when you get response. Oh my, I might send him another mail. Um, let's see. Okay, I just sent him a mail and let's see if he responds on that. Waiting and waiting, always waiting. It's an interesting feeling, right? Especially when you get a little bit nervous when people just don't pop up when they should. So I told him that you should be 5 or 10 minutes before the stream begins, but he didn't show up. So this is a little bit odd, but I guess I had to do what I can to, well, get this stream running then. Oh, wonderful. No viewers. Oh man, this is. Well, I can, sharpen my knife. It for a while and I hope someone will pop up. 0 people on this stream is not a good thing. So I keep this run for a while and see what happens. Oh, by the way, sharpen, keep your knife sharp. It's a good thing. Every prepper should know that. A sharp knife is better than a dull one. So, I don't know what we are gonna do. Well, I guess I have to wait and see if someone comes up. Well, this turned out to be really interesting. Uh, I don't know, but I hope he shows up. But I can sharpen my knife or maintain it, at least. That is something. No viewers. Well, what happens to people? There is always someone who would want to watch. Now, obviously not today. It's a bad day, I guess. Or a good day, I don't know. It depends on, I guess. No viewers. I hope there will pop in someone soon. Or I can keep sharpening my Leatherman wave. So, what are we gonna do now? Oh man, he forgot it. Oh Lord. Well, I have to keep this stream running. But I'm afraid this can be a total disaster, or it could be a good one. So, and I thought I have prepared everything. But it is what it is. I don't know, but things doesn't go as I want today. But it happens sometimes. So, still no viewers. Well, I have to let this stream run and see if something happens. I have to give it a chance because it's, well, no use to discuss prepping when nobody listens because I have to talk to myself. I don't know what happens. Or I might be mistaken about the time. At least one viewer. I'm sharpening my Leatherman at the moment with this. I had this since I was a kid. So I got this at my birthday, I believe. And this works really well. Actually, it's a diamond sharpener. I can't say I can't say I have found these anymore. So this one is a precious one for me. It has some value to me, but it makes the knife at least sharp. So we don't have any co-host yet. I might be mistaken on the time. It's always a problem when everyone has different time zones, and I did my math, and if my math was correct, my co-host's time would be 7 hours behind me. So that means he technically would be here now, but he's not. But anyway, I think we have to get to it anyway. A prepper should have one of these, if you can find them, or something similar. It's really nice. You screw this. Really nice, actually. And well, it's a matter of taste, but I think a prepper should have at least one multi-tool. I prefer a Leatherman wave. Leatherman has good quality and good quality stuff, so they are reliable and durable, and it just work just fine for me. So I'm happy with that one, and I need to get a Leatherman for my wife as well. But I don't know really which model yet. Maybe Wave, maybe another one. But anyway, so my idea for today were prepping in general. But I think we need to get to it. And I had at least 2 lessons to teach you guys. And whatever every prepper should know is about the core temperature. Oh my. Every prepper should know about the core temperature and how to keep it up and maintain the core temperature on a normal level. So I just did I created a model for it. And I did it one in a model I wanted to show you guys. I made that on in Paint. Yeah, Paint. And I tried to share it before. I tried to test it to share the screen or something or window, but it didn't work. I don't know why, but it didn't work. Oh my!
Hey, brother, how are you?
Well,
Yeah, I hadn't forgot.
Nervous.
Oh man, getting nervous. No, I apologize. I'm gonna tell you, they have a thing called Trade Day here in this town on Wednesdays where they trade knives and guns and all kinds of guys. And man, I looked at my watch and I go, oh, I got to roll, man. And so then everybody, and they had me blocked in. I'm dropping off into a ditch to get up around them so I could get here in time, man. It was like just one of those days, man. I was trying to get everything done I could to get in here with you.
Yeah. I think you. I hear myself on your side.
Yeah, it just not enough hours in the day. Sometimes it feels like. Is everything coming in good?
Yeah, Cam is good, but I think I hear myself on your side. So.
Okay, well, how am I going to mute that?
Maybe you have.
I've got little headphones, little earbuds. I could use that. That way, I don't have headphones. That would keep it from reverbing. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pink ones.
You want my green ones?
It don't matter. I'm a big boy.
Oh no, I don't have mine.
That's all right. You'll love it. They're pink.
Yeah, mine is black and red. So.
Hey, it takes a real man to wear pink ones, man. What can I say?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
good.
Much better.
Yeah, good. You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
Okay.
So.
Ooh.
Well, I had one viewer, and then they just dropped off, and I hope people want to come on here.
I hope so.
Yeah,
how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, it's I love to do things like this because it's you get more out of it.
Right.
So
yeah, I watched yours in Gray Man. You did one with Gray Man.
Yeah.
Oh. So how long?
Gray Man is an interesting guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of the same things in common. When I was hearing him talk, prior military and prepping and all that, I got a little bit of age on him, probably 10 years at least.
Yeah.
On him, but that's no big deal. I may be almost 60, but I don't feel like it. I don't act like it, you know.
I believe a Gray Man is 46 or something.
Yeah, that's what I figured. About 10 years on him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm 50, so.
Okay. Well, see, I'm still jumping out of planes, man. It ain't no big deal, you know.
Well, I feel like I am jumping out of planes too, so.
Yeah.
So, I like this idea to have a co-host. It makes it easier to keep topics running.
That, you know, and that's true. It's hard, even though I am a pastor. I preach every Sunday, Wednesday, and I'll have a topic and I'll run for 45 minutes on the average. But to speak for an hour to a camera is strange. I mean, it's hard to do it. Some of these guys are doing 3-4 hours. I don't see how they do it. Number one, I've got a life and I can't do 3-4 hours. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've got things to do, and if I can't say it in 45 minutes, then it don't need to be said. Is my kind of my opinion. I mean, I'm just running over the same. But when there's two of us, we can carry on a conversation like you and I are sitting here drinking a coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't mind that type of conversation. I love to sit and talk. I love to debate with people, but just hearing myself talk, no, I don't enjoy that. When we had the China virus, a lot of the churches closed up. I had mine closed for 3 weeks, and because I've got a lot of elderly. I've got a lady that's turning 101 this month, and I was afraid when they started coming out and it was going against the elderly. I was afraid one of them be harmed, and so I shut it down for 3 weeks. But I couldn't stand it, and the people were begging to come back, so we opened them back up.
Yeah, and I understand them, and I understand your position as well, because that is not a pleasant situation to be in, and your bosses come and say, "Hey, you need to shut down for 3 weeks." No, I can't do that. The people then.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing, and you may not be familiar. I'm Southern Baptist. That's the denomination, and we're autonomous. In other words, they don't tell us what to do. They suggest, but they can't make us. Like a lot of the denominations, they'll have cardinals or bishops or something to that effect. We don't have that, so they can't. And we are the largest denomination in America right now, but they can't make us do it. But the governor was telling us. They were telling us. And I shut down for 3 weeks, and I joked. I said, I'm used to preaching to empty crowds, man. That's normal in a church. I said, but when I lock the doors, I said, that's nuts. And I said, until Jesus comes back, there's nobody big enough in the butt to make me close these doors again. And I'll fight it to the end, very end. They're not the government, whoever it is. I'm not going to shut them. If people want to be there to worship the Lord and people want to be there to praise him, we're going to have it open,
Yeah, and I fully understand. People needs that.
Yes. What better time to come to the Lord when people are dying all around you? But we've been fortunate. I've had maybe 4 people in the whole congregation, 4 out of about 100, that have contracted to COVID, and all of them have been well. One was 95, one was 89, and they come through it. Now my son, he's 32. He ended up in the hospital, and it was the doctor asked him if he had a will, if he had his priorities and his paperwork together when he come in, like he was going to die. Man, I was like, what a great bedside manner there, So, but if I get talking too much, man, just tell me to hush, okay?
Yeah, I will. Welcome, Teresa. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Christian myself, so
fantastic.
Yeah, I have been there for a couple of years.
Okay.
When I joined the Salvation Army at the beginning, and I'm still member of the Salvation Army, but things has been changing there, so.
Okay.
So I don't feel that. Is not the same.
Do you think it's kind of do you think it's more of a liberal approach to Christ? Is that what it is? More inclusive?
I feel it like it begins to go more like to the conservative, because the Salvation Army doesn't accept certain things.
Right.
They don't allow it. And let's say HBTQ movement.
Right.
They don't allow it.
Right.
They don't allow a flyer on that.
Okay. Well,
Rainbow Week or whatever.
So I try to explain to people that he tells you to come as you are. Christ tells you to come as you are, but he loves you so much he's not going to leave you that way. And, and I try to explain to people there's the only biggest sin that's going to keep you out of heaven is not accepting Christ as your Savior. But you can't live in that. If he tells you he's cleaning me up, I am nowhere close to being perfect, man. I'm a mess. I'll be the first to confess it. My wife will be second. But I'm holier than I was because he's cleaning me up as we go. Some of the old, I call it BC, the before Christ, comes out of me. And that's not a pretty picture. I mean, it's really not. But as far as condoning the lifestyle, I don't condone that lifestyle anymore. And I condone somebody cheating on their wife, an adulterer. It's wrong. God's word tells us it's wrong. That's the only absolute I got, his word. Not my opinion, his word. Take it up with him. I'm in middle management, So.
Yeah. Before, I can say before BC, from my own life, it was not a pretty sight either. So,
yeah, I'm not how do I put this? I wasn't saved at age 3 and ordained at age 5. I was a sergeant in the United States Army. I had a life. I was different. Let's put it that way. I was a different man, and but it took my life, my wife contracting cancer for me to really truly come to Christ. Wow. Hey man, we're starting to see some. Good to see you, Harvey. I'm seeing the comment.
Good to see you, buddy.
Hey,
I'm doing just fine, buddy.
Yeah. All right. But and the thing is too, I'm not totally a preacher. I'm not totally a prepper. I'm kind of a combo. That's why it's the prep and preacher, man. I've been prepping since the 80s. Now I know that some people here hadn't been born yet, but I was raised as a prepper and didn't know it, if that makes sense. It was just a standard, standard of life. I mean, we always gardened. My family comes from farming. We always gardened. We always put back. We, try to have contingency plans for whatever may come down the pike. So how did you get in prepping?
Well, since I was a teenager, I have been always an outdoors person.
Right.
When I was a kid, we were canoeing. It was a lot of canoeing, camping, and one time we hiked in the mountains for a week. So with my uncle and my cousins and my father and my brother. And I was always interested in survival, wilderness survival.
Right.
So I got from my mother John Lofty Weissman's survival book. So I believe it was the first edition, and I still have it. I still have it.
All right.
So I wanted to always try to find a survival course that I could take, but as it is, it's expensive, and I didn't have money.
Yeah. And that was me as a boy. I was always in the woods. I mean, it's a joke here in Tennessee. We learned how to shoot before we learned how to walk. I mean, we had guns around us all the time. And so if we weren't hunting, if it wasn't hunting season, it was shooting. You would go out. I would take my allowance, 50 cents a week or whatever it was for doing my chores. And I would buy 22 bullets to go, and they would just turn us loose with our weapons. It wasn't a nanny state that we have today. I mean, when we went to school, we had in our pickup trucks, we had guns hanging in the back, our squirrel rifle or our deer rifle. We were going hunting after or fishing, depending on which one. It was a whole lifestyle. Oh wow, we got Chinese in here.
I have no idea. Maybe Chinese. I don't know. Really.
Yeah.
I can't read it.
Spamming. Yeah, they're spamming. But
take care of it.
Yeah. But it's been a lifestyle my whole life. At age 17, I graduated early from high school, went straight into the United States Army, served total of 6 years with them, and then came out and went back on a farm, into the country. That's just it's just our lifestyle, Yeah. Married a city girl, and she's after 34 years, she's accustomed to it now. So it took a little while.
It usually do. So I have been in civil defense for a couple of years now, and we have it's separated. It's our municipality has a group, a volunteer resource group.
Okay.
On
So
Swedish, FRG. So,
all right.
and I'm a leader there. So it means that we are, if there would be a larger event, cries happening, like a forest fire or something.
Okay.
The
municipality
send SMS, text messages to the one who is responsible, and then I got the same. They contact me, and I get the people I need, and we gather on a specific place. It could be the fire department or something, and we get the equipment and we get our orders there, and we go and do our job. So
sounds similar to our FEMA here, except the FEMA is totally government. It's a paid position, but they do have volunteers that hit. I don't know if you've kept up with the news, but we have all kinds of civilian types of entities, like if you saw the Cajun Navy down in Louisiana, that's just a bunch of good old boys with bass boats and airboats going in and rescuing people, and they're just volunteers. It's their equipment, their fuel, everything. That's one thing great about America. We do pull up to this point. We do pull together when there is a catastrophe and people come in to help. We've seen it up here with the flooding. The flooding was real close to where I'm at in Tennessee, where there was around 20 people drowned last weekend. And so but the people have just rolled in, and you just wouldn't believe that the churches, everything else working together. So,
yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
Lander, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that, Harvey. I was having a hard time reading the hieroglyphics there, buddy. So, yeah. Is Harvey one of your moderators?
Yeah, I have a lot of moderators, but Harvey's the one now.
Okay. Yeah, I've had to bring some in after the first one or two. This is all new to me, guys. I just really YouTube. I would watch Fail Army. That was about it. I'd get a good laugh out of Fail Army for years. And my son's the one that said, "Hey, Dad, you need to do a channel." He said, "All the stuff you taught us, all the stuff you've been doing all these years, people don't know." And he said, "I think it'll work." Man, it's just I've been blown away. I never in my life thought that 10,000 people would like me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm kind of an antisocial kind of guy.
You have been on YouTube a shorter period of time than I have, and you have more followers than I have.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't. I try to be as genuine as I can. I try to tell you straight up, who I am. I try to tell you, that I don't put up with any nonsense. I've got other words for that, but I won't use it on air. I have a low tolerance for nonsense. Let's put it that way, and if you want to come in and insult the people or insult me, well, that's your right, but you don't have to do it on my channel. It's what it boils down to, So yeah, I've had to put some moderators in there. Super Psychotic is one. I've known him for years. And he'll if you see him pop up, that means somebody done got stupid on the channel. So we're gonna, matter of fact, we're gonna probably be doing a remote this Friday. We won't be here in the office. We'll be somewhere else in an undisclosed location, so to speak. I'll tell you, man, you got to know I love you, because this is opening day of dove season, and I was supposed to go hunting this afternoon, but I'm here with you, brother. Yeah.
And I'm honored to have you on my channel for a change.
Yeah. So, well, hey, man, no, you don't know what an honor it was for you to ask me. You're the only one that's asked me. A guy named Smash Time asked me. He wanted to get up on the and talk about the prepping, but then he started talking bad about preppers. So I was like, man, I don't think this is going to work out for us. So I never got on with him. Yeah, he's more into he's into 2A. He's into Second Amendment stuff,
Yeah.
and I do a lot of that. I do talk to a lot of the creators on Second Amendment here, people like Tools and Targets and AAF, one of my favorites. He's a good guy. Yahim is. I don't know if you're familiar with his work or not. Do you look at much of the Second A? Do you look at a lot of that?
Well, she mentioned my real name, so that's
Well, I'm Tim. I tell everybody, and I tell them, come find me, man. You know what I'm saying?
But the problem is people have difficulties to pronounce my name. So
Is it Horen?
Göran.
Jordan. Okay, I got you, man. Jordan. All right. Yeah, like I said, I spent 2 years in Europe. I was on the I was on the communist border, in protecting the border way back when there was an iron wall. I was in Germany in a place called Vilflicken for 2 years, and Third ID, and but I never made it to Sweden, man. I made it all over, but I never made it to Sweden. It just wasn't on my list. No offense, brother, but made it to England. Yeah, made it to England. Wasn't it? I better hush. Made it to England. Made it to Spain, but made it to France. But that was about it. And like I said, lived in Germany for 2 years. But I know enough German now to get in trouble with somebody. I just remember the bad things to say, not the good. So So Jurgen. All right. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know if you're trying to keep OPSEC, keep your name out of it. Or not?
Well, I had my name, my first and last name, on the channel, but I got the advice not to, so I changed my name
to protect the guilty, huh? Yeah, but I get mixed reviews. Don't let them know where you're at. Don't let them know your name. Do let them know where you're at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm kind of a guy. Here I am. I mean, if somebody wants to find me, I'm in the public. I'm a pastor of a church, a fairly nice sized church.
They can go to every church in the whole U.S. and
they can look me up. They can find me through the association, through my name, through my sermons that are out there. It's not a big deal. Now you tell me. But if they want to find me, they can find me. It's how I look at it, and I'm also kind of I'm still. Are you familiar with the term redneck?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with.
I'm still enough of a redneck that I just tell them, well, bring it on. If you want to be stupid, bring it on. I'll play with you. It's just I try not to be offensive to anybody. I try not to do anything out of malice. But some people get their feelings hurt nowadays, so we deal with it. I'm trying to educate people on the prepping, and I mix a little bit of Jesus Christ in there. And I've had people go, I got a comment the other day, email, beautiful email, but then it said, I'm trying to send people to you so that they can learn, but you do too much Bible thumping and they don't like it. I'm going, so I sent them an email back and I go, you did notice that the name of the channel is The Prepping Preacher. If you don't think I'm going to talk about God and talk about Jesus and talk about salvation, then I'm not much of a preacher, is what it boils down to. So, but yeah. All right. So you said you had something you were going to teach me.
It's two things.
Okay.
Every prepper knows about the core temperature, right?
Right. You're talking about the core temperature of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I don't think many people knows about this. So I call it 3 basic principles of survival, basically. It's a
Okay. Core
It's a
temp.
triangle.
Yeah. Water, calories, and core temp. Okay.
Yeah. How do you maintain your core temperature on a normal level? Well, it begins with your clothes. It could be fire. It could be a blanket,
Right.
a sleeping bag, things like that. And that helps you to maintain your core temperature.
Sorry.
But, and people think, why do I put calories there? Well, it is a reason for that. When you are freezing and begin to shaking, your body shake because you freeze. So what body does is try to draw blood from your arms, legs to keep your all the blood to your vital organs,
Right.
like stomach, chest, head, and the body tries to maintain the core temperature so you don't drop. But that takes a lot of energy for the body to maintain the normal body temperature.
Right.
So that's why you're shaking.
Yeah, it's the body's natural instinct of survival is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you burn a lot of calories. And you need to replace those calories with something. A high energy bar and peanuts, whatever.
Right.
That is really important that you get those calories. Because if you don't, you're screwed. It's the same thing. If you don't have proper clothes on, well, you're screwed. If you can't maintain it that way, you're screwed. If you don't get the calories, you're screwed. And now people will begin to think, what has water with the whole thing? Well, the interesting thing with water is not to keep us hydrated, get rid of, help the kidneys to get rid of the waste products. It also has the function to, it controls the metabolism. Your body's
metabolism, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that is important. If you don't have water, you're screwed. If you don't get calories, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, okay. So, well, I mean, it's the rule of threes that most people have taught for years. Sears training, they teach it, the rule of threes. You got three hours in adverse weather, whether it be freezing or hot. That's going to, you may not survive if it's the freezing cold or the scorching heat of the desert. And then, we can go on from 3 days to 3 weeks to 3 months, that type of deal.
Yeah.
So that's why, shelter or clothing is vital.
Yeah.
You deal a little more in your area than we do with the cold. I mean, we just had 100-degree days here,
Yeah.
So, but in saying that, when I was in Germany years back, they had a heat wave, which for this old boy was great. I mean, I loved it because I was up on top of a mountain that I was cold. Well, it was a ski lodge on the mountain that I was stationed on. That'll tell you the weather most of the time.
Yeah.
And me coming from the south, but we had a heat, and there were people dying in the major cities of heat stroke, and it was 90-something degrees. I'm like, how in the world are they dying? I mean, because that's a normal day. That 90 is like a cool wave here sometimes,
Yeah.
So, but it's the acclimation of it. But yeah, you deal. Your temperature is probably a little more frigid than ours.
The lowest I have been experienced here is about minus 30 degrees Celsius.
Okay, I'm trying to work that out. That would be, okay. Trying to break it down. I mean, what 96 is 35. I'm trying to work it down. What is that? Do you know what that is in Fahrenheit? That's what That's why I have a phone now.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna pop it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Google is my friend now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I remember in high school when calculators. This will tell you how old I am.
Yeah.
When calculators first come out, our algebra teacher said, "You won't have a calculator with you all the time," and I go, "Yes, we do." You know. But all right. Let's see what we got here, man. Minus 30 Celsius. All right. And of course, you don't convert it. It didn't convert it. I can't believe that. Google took a break too, man. Okay, minus 22 degrees. Okay, minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold. That's cold. We might have wind chills for a day or two here that might hit them in the negatives, but that's about it. That's about it. You know, so yeah, you deal more with that than we have here. But the thing is, you can put on more clothes. You can only take off so many in the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, you can take more off, but you'll get arrested. I mean, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But you can. It's dangerous if you begin have clothes on and you begin to sweat, because that cools you off more, and that is not good either.
Right, where you're dealing, and it's again, it's the core of the core temperature of the body. Where you're dealing with hypothermia, we're dealing with heat stroke. You know, and people falling out from heat stroke here. Oh, there we go. About pulled my pink earbud out there. Sorry about that. But all right. So all right. So what's your suggestion to keep the core up?
Well, have proper clothes for the temperature or season.
Yeah. Now, you know, that's a lot of people don't realize to change out your bug out bag for the seasons. You know. Because you're not going to be needing the woolen socks during and the woolen underwear possibly during July here. You know, I mean it's a constant flow. It is. It's fluid. What you have to do as a prepper to try to be ready for everything, and usually you're ready for nothing. Is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas. Well, hello, Teresa. Good. We really don't have much winter. Yeah, y'all had one last year though, didn't you? That's yeah. That ice storm freaked y'all out. We're used to that in Tennessee. We go a couple of weeks sometimes without power here. So.
But you have the other problem instead. You need water. You have to drink more instead.
Yeah, and that's I don't know if you saw the series I'm cranking up about what to do. You know, what if? That's a prepper's game, man. What if this happened? What if that happened? You know, and it's kind of like in life, man. You got to know your exit before you enter. That was one thing they taught us in the Army. You know, you got to know how to get out of something before you get into it. Well, you got to play the scenario game, the what ifs, and that's why we're looking at power. The grid down, the power outage covers such a gambit of everything. You know, I mean, whether it be a nuclear holocaust, whether it be zombie apocalypse, whatever, a power outage, a grid down, is going to cover just about every base that you have. And water's one of them we're going to be looking at and talking about because, you got to have water. People in Texas, they had to learn that the hard way. It was hard on them. You know, they had to boil water. Orders in, even all the way up into Tennessee because of the ice storm. So.
But on the other hand, even if you live in a country where you have winter, the problem here will be you don't feel thirsty when it's cold.
Right.
But you need to drink a lot, as much as when it's hot. So
right.
Because you don't feel the thirst.
Yeah, that is.
The thirst, you're way too dehydrated. So.
Yeah, And you're right, man. You don't want anything to drink when you're out in the cold. You really don't, unless it's hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The coffee or the cocoa or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's not necessarily so good for you. Yeah. Now, I drink my coffee though. I'm old.
When it's in wintertime, it's better to drink something warm
Yeah.
and eat something warm.
Harvey said, "Dang zombies, get into the well, pollute the water." You know, I used to joke.
Right.
I used to joke people, and I tell them, I said, "Man, I ain't preparing for a zombie apocalypse, but boy, wouldn't it be fun?" You know, I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but we could get some headshots off. You know, I mean, there's that BC coming out of me again. You know, but but no, the water though, the water's key, man. Water's key, but we've got so much water around us. We do now, unless you're living in a desert. We've got sources for water, you know, a desert or an island, you know, in the Pacific. But and that's why that's why I try to tell people, concentrate on your food. Number one, have you ever thought about this, Yarn? Everybody's talking about stocking up the water, but if you have a family of 4, how much to get, say, a month worth of water? How much storage room that's going to take to do that?
A lot of storage space.
Yeah, and see, a gallon of water is a little over 7 pounds. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, you keep adding it up, and that's why I said, get the filtration systems. That way you can that way you can filter when you come up on it, more so than trying to. Everybody's stocking to these huge. Now I don't know about there, but here. And nothing against it. I mean, put some back, but they're stacking 300-gallon containers of this stuff. And I'm like, that space can be better utilized for something else. Unless you're living in a desert, we've got plenty of water around us. Learn how to filtrate that stuff, man, is what it boils down to. You don't see a soldier out there carrying a 5-gallon water bucket on his pack, do you? You see maybe a 2-quart bladder, Why? Because we're going to get water. Yeah, we had iodine, and we're going to get back to somewhere where there's some water, So bring your own bottle. I love it, awesome. All right.
And the other thing I was thinking about was I feel pretty important as well. So we can take, USA, for an example. You have your heat waves.
Right.
You have higher temperature over there than we have here. But I was thinking, let's say if you have to bug out and you have your wife and your 2 kids and your 2 dogs, and you stuff all the gear in the trunk and water and things.
Right.
But the planned route maybe fail. So you have to try another route. But that fails too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hot outside, high temperature. Let's say over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And everybody's thirsty and they have plenty of food. And they drink and drink and drink all this water. And the animals drink and the kids drinks, wife drinks. And at the end, the water, runs out.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to find some more water.
Right.
But it's a drought. So you can't find anything.
It's a drought, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Drought.
Yeah.
But the kids in the back begins to get hungry. So why the parents maybe say, well, get something to eat. And the father and the mother begins to get hungry as well. What can we eat? But that is a bad mistake. You have plenty of food, but you run out of water.
Okay.
And you eat high energy food with high protein, high fat. Okay?
Mhm.
The problem is with high fat and high protein food is that fat and protein needs a lot of water for the body that body needs to digest it.
Right.
So if you don't have water, what the body does is takes water from your body to digest that protein and that fat. So that means you get even more dehydrated than you were before. So it is not a good idea. Find water first. Hunger you can manage to control, but you need water first. Water first, eat later.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sorry. Maybe it didn't come out right. I'm not saying no. Water is key. I mean, water.
Yeah.
Without water, you die first. Okay, not food. Yeah. Without water, you die first. Like I said, you adverse conditions, then water, then food. I mean, that's what you have to look at.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, instead of trying to stockpile hundreds of gallons of water, unless you're in an arid situation or a drought, find the filtration. The Berkey, the live straws, find the filter. Boiling it. I mean, get a rolling boil on it for 3 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm getting at with there's so many that stress the water. Also, right now, water's cheap, food's going up. That's why I keep trying to tell people our economy is it's in a moderated hyperinflation. I love how that came out. How do you moderate hyperinflation? I mean, but we're seeing it. How is it over there in Sweden?
Well, we managed pretty good so far.
Right.
But what worries me is that if the Sweden are very independent on the dollar, the US dollar.
Yeah, just about everybody.
Connected.
Yeah,
Our currency is connected to the dollar, and the dollar controls how our currency will go up or down. So if the dollar goes down and goes down so much that it's basically is not worth the paper it's printed on, we will be affected as well.
Right. I believe
if you get the recession, we will have it here as well.
Yeah. It would be a world. It's a world economic if the dollar fails, which it's truly it's based on oil, but that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, if the U.S. dollar fails, which we're seeing it buying less and less here, then it's going to be global. It's not just Sweden now. The thing is, I don't believe there's one nation that's sovereign that can produce everything that it needs to continue. Sweden, actually looking at your gross domestic and all that, you guys are actually in a worse case than the U.S. when it comes to sovereignty, because the production of food and different items is not. It would not. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all don't produce enough to take care of that country, do you? Food wise.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned it because Sweden produce about 30 to 40%, and the rest of the food we get here is imported food.
Okay.
You can then do the math on how much we import.
Yeah. Well,
and we export a lot of food as well. And they have counted on that, made some calculations on that, on how long we would manage if it would be a war or something.
right.
Well, the calculation said that we would manage 1 week.
Oh, wow.
One week.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's on a spot on, or?
Well, we are not self-sufficient
Right.
at all. We were self-sufficient, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Before, when I was a kid, the government had stockpiled food, water, fuel, and every medical supplies and etc. But they began somewhere in the 90s, the government said that when the Cold War was over, well, we faced these storage units out with food, water,
right.
and medical supplies and things like that. So 2003 were the last storage unit phased out. So we don't have anything of that anymore. And we had gas masks for the whole population.
Right.
Brand new. You know what? Never used. You know what? They destroyed all those gas masks.
Well, I mean, we had the same thing. Our civil defense, you still have civil defense there. We had civil defense shelters set up, and mostly in the cities, and it had rations of food there. It had water, had different things. It was during the Cold War, same thing. Yeah, and in the silos that we had, they're gone. There's no, and I don't even believe it was when the wall fell. I think people just lost interest in it, if that means anything. See, when I was a kid in school, we practiced for nuclear blasts, where we'd have to get under our desk, put our head between our legs. I always wondered if that was to kiss our butts goodbye, but it was. But they would have us get on the floor and get under our desk for a nuclear blast, and learning from it. But it's not interest anymore. Nobody thinks that'll ever happen again, that we'd have to worry about that. And so just like your country, we said, okay, we're done. We're done. We're just going to live our lives. Give me another Big Mac type attitude. Yeah.
And now, a couple of years ago, and the government began to think, when we got, we have problems with Russia. We are not that good friends with Russia, actually. And why? Because we cooperate with the NATO forces. We do military exercises with NATO forces, and Russia don't like that.
Right.
And so the government began to think, hey, we should begin to restock our storage units again. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But that will take decades before before they phased it out.
So basically, your government pissed off Putin, is what you're telling me. So they decided now that they ought to get back and get stuff stored up. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Russia's not the USSR when I was a kid or when I was a soldier. They're not a threat, in my opinion. We have threats, far bigger threats coming at us.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do it without firing a shot. To be honest, I mean, they're already doing it here. But nobody. That's the thing. The general consensus, they don't take into consideration where stuff comes from anymore. I mean, I've heard people go, well, I don't believe in killing animals, but because I hunt. But in the same aspect, they'll sit down and eat a hamburger. Well, where'd they think that meat come from? You know,
Yeah.
at least I give the cow a sporting chance before I shoot him. You know, joke. I don't kill cows, okay? But yeah, they hadn't opened the season on them. I'm waiting for it because I love a good porterhouse steak, man. I ain't playing. But, so 1 week. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that is true. That information are true. Yeah, 1
Okay.
week, and that was the what do you call him? Chief commander.
The chief
highest military.
Oh, well, that'd be our commander in chief, but it'd be the or the Secretary of Defense is what we would have. Secretary of Defense here.
Well, he said that we would manage 1 week.
Okay. Yeah, our commander in chief here is Bubbling Joe. That's who are the top leader.
Yeah.
Don't even, brother, we'll go too long if we get started on that fool, man. I made a post today that, and we're gonna talk just a second. Can I have a second?
Yeah.
All right. I posted on another site, and it's probably been taken down. I've probably been thrown in jail again, but but I said, look, Joe Biden is not a gold star father, and he needs to stop playing one on TV. Now, a gold star is what's hung in the window here. If you lose a son or a husband in a war, you hang a gold star. Yeah. And I said, you know, I'm tired of hearing him talk about his son. It's tragic that his son died, but he didn't have, he had a chance. His son died of a disease. He had a chance to say goodbye to that son. He had a chance to tell his son he loved him one more time. He didn't have two people dressed in uniforms walking up to the front door to tell him that they'd no longer see their son or their daughter who just died in a war, in a useless, worthless thing that he did. He didn't have that. And so, yeah, I got on a bandwagon about this because I could never tell. I've not lost a child in war. I've not lost a child yet. I've got 5 kids, and I've been blessed that they're still all alive. And a parent shouldn't have to bury their child. That's out of the scheme of things. Yeah, and it's heartbreaking when a parent loses a child. Yes, I heard somebody say, you know, when a woman loses her husband, they have a name for it, a widow, but they don't have a name for a mother who's lost her child. And boy, that hit hard. And I thought about it. And I said, you know, but Joe's up there. There's 13 dead, and he's going to talk about his dead son who died of a disease in a hospital that he was able to say goodbye to. And these folks are never going to see theirs again. They went and they died for our freedoms. You know, they stood in the gap. All right, I'm done. I tell you, don't get me started on that fool. But he's a bumbling idiot, man. All he's looking for is his tapioca pudding in the afternoons, and so he can watch some cartoons on TV, man. That's our president. It's a sad state of affairs, man. But it would be our Secretary of Defense, is what yours was. That would be coming out saying that. All right, I'm off the rant. Sorry. I thought it was Friday night, and I was ready to rant again, man. Don't make me go get my Patriot hat, man. My Tricon. We'll get at it here.
So our government decided to. We print the brochure if crisis and war comes. Yeah. Well, I think we should print that out again. Yeah. And they did, and they sent it out.
That's the one you sent me?
Yeah, exactly. That one.
Okay.
That one. And so we had never had before here in Sweden, at least, terror attacks. But we had a couple of years ago. So in Stockholm, where one guy drove a truck on a street, walking street or one, so
right,
and ran right into a store, basically. where my cousin worked, basically. So,
Okay.
but she left. I think it was 2 or 3 hours before it happened. So she was lucky, but 13 others were not that lucky.
Okay.
I believe it was a 12-year-old girl who were run over by that truck, and that dude was from Azerbaijan, I believe,
Okay.
and he was a supporter. He supported the ISIS.
See, we just had an attack in Texas. They don't even tell about it. It was a lone gunman this past weekend. He killed an Uber driver and then drove to a Plano, Texas. He wasn't too smart of a terrorist. He drove to a Plano, Texas police station and opened fire inside the police station. I mean, that was kind of death by cop. I mean, in Texas, everybody got a gun, just like Tennessee. So, I mean, it don't even take the cops to take you out. I mean, Tennessee's the patron state of shooting things. And I think Texas is number 2 in that list. But yeah, we have them. And I wonder how many we have that don't even make it to press. And this guy, his name, it was a Muslim name, and it said that he had been recruited or talked to about some fringe elements out there of Islam. But that's how the press dropped it after that. So. But yeah, Harvey's asking a question there. How many months of food storage does government recommend, and how many do you both? Yeah.
Our government recommended at first 72 hours food for 72 hours. But when I heard that 72 hours, that is not enough. So minimum. That's like a bag of 1 week or 10 days at minimum. And I believe 2 years ago, I heard the government said, well, I don't think we think 72 hours are enough. I think we increase it to 7 days or 10 days minimum. And I have said that for years, 72 hours is not good enough. You need more.
Right. Well, 72 hours, that's like what, a pizza and 2 bags of Doritos? I mean, 72 hours is lightweight. I mean, FEMA, I think here, they suggest a 3-day supply also of non-perishable food. That's what they suggest. But, it's a suggestion. 3 days is lightweight. I mean,
it's lightweight.
I'll tell you, though, if it's for Patriots 3-day supply, that'll last a long time if you've ever tasted it. That 72 hours, mine's going to last forever because I'm never eating another bite of that 4 Patriots, but that's the whole other subject. But no, and I tell people I don't really have a guideline to that. Put food back, man. When you get a month, okay, work on the next month. That's how I look at it because it could be, again, we talk about apocalyptic events, but it could be as much as just losing your livelihood. You could lose your job. You could get sick and lose your job, or whatever it may be, hyperinflation. And it's good to have that food insurance, have the food stuck back that you're not wondering where the next meal's coming from. Yeah, that's just common sense. But I know sense isn't common anymore. But start on I would say minimum of 3 weeks. And minimum of it. And I tell people though, just like your finances, 3 months, you get the food and the finances get 3 months stuck back because you just don't know. 3 months goes quick. Trust me, when you get my age, it flies by. And so get 3 months of finances of your bills, 3 months of your food put back. That way you've got a good start on it, but don't stop there. Keep going, man. Keep going. Get self-sufficient as you can.
And if we are gonna compare U.S. with Sweden about prepping. Preppers here in Sweden, well, or survivalists, we
That's
are
what
more like the what we call a green wave. That means we're more human. We are not rely on guns and things for self-defense.
right.
But it means that basically we should help others. Well, nothing wrong with that. But I can see the problem. The first week, it might work. Maybe a second week, but after third and fourth week,
Yeah.
well, it will, when everybody begins to starve, well, we will have problems.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you've seen the video in New Orleans. That not even 24 hours after the excuse me, Ida rolled through. They were looting.
Yeah.
You know, less than 24 hours. There's going to be people that are going to. I try to explain this to people as a Christian. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. People say, "Well, we're not supposed to. We're supposed to be nonviolent and all that." Well, and I am. I'm nonviolent to a point. The thing is, and they say, "Well, you're getting persecuted in His namesake." No, all the violence that comes at you is not necessarily persecution for Jesus Christ. We live in an evil world, and there are evil people out there. And we as Christians are called to stand against the evil to protect those that cannot protect themselves. And so if it means putting somebody that's evil down, well, then we need to put somebody that's evil down. Now I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to be in that position, but I'm not going to put myself in that position. They're going to put themselves in that position is what's going to happen. And so, yeah, we're going to help where we can. But again, and I mentioned this, somebody in one of I don't know if it was one of my lives or something, but was discussing the same thing. And they said, well, how can you turn people away? Well, I'm not, but they can sure work for that food, because if we're talking the balloons up and it's messed up, there's going to be plenty of work to do. And so, whether it be hauling water, whether it be plowing the field, whatever it may be. And so, if you don't work, you don't eat. Not my words, God's. And that's how we kind of look at it. But you're right. There's going to be people that are going to try to take advantage. We see it here. We see it here with our government programs that people take advantage. And I'm not saying everybody that's on the government program is taking advantage, but there are some that know how to trick the system and are playing the system. I see it at the church all the time, where people are coming in asking for help. We try to help them, but we've had to build a network of the local churches so that we can better regulate it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because they'll go to your church, Jan, and they'll say, "Man, I need help with my gas bill," and so you give them $50. Well, then they come to my church and they said, "I need $50 for my gas bill," and so we give them $50. And man, they hit about 5 or 6 churches, and they've racked up. And then I see them at Walmart buying a big screen TV. So it's just. Again, we have to be good stewards, and Jan, this is where it boils down. And I'm sorry, I'm stealing your show here. I don't mean to, brother, but we have to be good stewards with what God has given us. Everything we've got, God has given us, including the breath in our bodies. And so, if I'm just handing it out to somebody without it being of Him and for His glory, then I'm not being a good steward. So I'm not taking care of what He's. Yeah. So, all right, I'm back. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Hey, man, don't ever invite a preacher to talk, man.
Well, I have fun, so, and it's always nice to have a preacher on the channel sometimes.
Well, I can't save you, brother. Only he can do that.
Yeah, no. Hurricane Ida.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yep.
1 million without power. Yeah.
They're saying weeks out. For some of them, it's going to be weeks before they get power back. So
that is a bad situation.
Oh yeah, yeah,
for those
and
who
Matt,
has been affected.
and I'm gonna tell you, if you've never been to Louisiana, man, their state bird is the mosquito. I mean, it's rough down there. Them swamps or something else, and now all that water. Uh, there's going to be mosquitoes, the West Nile, everything like that's going to be hitting, man. Yeah. So I hope all our brothers and sisters that are listening, that are some of our preppers, I hope they're okay. You know, I've heard from a few. Some of them, one that I know of went to Florida. They that contacted me through my channel. They went to Florida ahead of it, you know, and left and went to family to live over there. So, and they don't know, and they live there in New Orleans. So I don't know when they'll be back home. So, all right.
It is really hard and tough situation for those who lose their homes and everything they own.
Yeah.
And all they own is the clothes and the car, maybe.
Well, that's why they've had days. They had a week to prepare.
Yeah.
You know, they had a week to prepare. I'm sorry, getting calls. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be getting off here shortly, brother. I took a time. This is my lunch hour, and they're calling me from the office. But now, you play the what if game, man. You know, if you're living on the coast, well, chances are pretty good that you're going to have some storms. You know, here in the mountains where I live, you know, chance of a tornado. You know, that would be about it. Chance of a tornado, but that's so sporadic. You don't know where that's coming from. You know, I mean, but the coast, pretty good chance. Pretty good chance you're going to have a storm come through if you're living on the beach.
Here in Sweden, we have hurricanes, so we had pretty bad hurricanes. So I haven't been in them.
No. Well, but see, though, you'll see here, and I don't know about there, brother, but hurricane season, I've got some good brothers from the Army that live down in Florida and all, and he has the plywood ready to put up on his windows. You know, it's in his garage. And so as soon as it comes out, he's got it up 2 or 3 days ahead of time. And you'll see people at the store buying plywood. And I asked him one time, I said, do you have that many new people? He said, no, these people, you'll see it after the storm and everything goes through. You'll see them. They'll throw it away. They'll get rid of it, you know, and so they go back and rebuy it again and rebuy it again. Again, common sense isn't common anymore, man. I mean,
no.
Now, y'all are pretty high elevation, though, are you not? For the hurricane, no, I mean it's not the massive waves coming in, is it?
Well, we have pretty strong winds when we have our hurricanes. Right. I live at the coast in the northern parts of Sweden, so. But I was born on the west coast. In Gothenburg.
Okay.
So there we had hurricanes there, and after what I know, those small boats were just on land instead of water in the sea. So, and trees were well ripped up and everything.
Well, okay, Jorn, what do you do when they say a hurricane's coming?
Well, if it's really bad, they recommend to stay indoors. Indoors, and that's it. Yeah, if they don't want you to get out if you are necessary.
Right.
There's business to do or something. Oh.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, we are in a constant learning state here in the United States. It seems like we never learn. I'm serious. They were showing the 7 transmission lines that came into New Orleans in that area. They said these were reinforced after Katrina, and they're laying on the ground. I said, well, they didn't reinforce them too well. I mean, because they're still laying on the ground. But 150 mile an hour winds, 170, you know, up to that. That would take a heck of a structure to handle that.
Yeah.
Nothing that we build hardly would stand up to it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's truly the finger of God.
And what surprised me was that a couple of kilometers from where I live, there were actually an earthquake, 4.8
Oh, cool.
on the
Oh,
Richter
all right.
scale. So, and I said, well, earthquake here in Sweden, that is not possible. Obviously, it is.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah. We have them in Tennessee. We do.
Yeah.
We're not far from what they call the New Madrid Fault. As a matter of fact, where I just moved a couple of years ago, I was on the New Madrid Fault. And that's where the Mississippi, when they had the Mississippi River run backwards and created a lake, Reelfoot Lake. I fished in it. But yeah, the river run backwards. But yeah, and it when they had that earthquake, it rang the bells from Tennessee all the way to Philadelphia. It rang the bells in the churches.
Yeah, that's a lot of bells.
But but those see, them are hard to prep for. The hurricane, like we were just talking about, you can be prepared for that. You can bug out of that. You know what I'm saying? Have your gear ready. Have a way to transport your gear. Get everything into a high level. It may still get blown away, whatever's left in the house, but get out. Don't sit there. That's kind of stupid. Again, I shouldn't have said
I live
that.
on the top floor in an apartment. So.
Oh, dude. All right. So, wow. That would be hard to prep for. In an apartment on the 12th. Yeah. Because you got to get it down to the stairs, man, if the elevator isn't working, right?
I don't have any elevator in my apartment.
Oh, dude, you got good calisthenics every day then, don't you?
Yeah, we have a spiral.
Yeah. You said 12th floor, right?
No, fourth.
Fourth. Okay, I thought you said 12th. I was like, golly, dude.
Top floor.
I was going to say, you don't have anybody my age living up there if it's 12th floor because they done died on a coronary on the way up, man. So, wow.
No,
all right.
Fourth floor. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not so bad. But yeah, it just, yeah. So, but, all right, and so but you have a bug out location like most of us probably. Then, if you're in the apartment,
actually, I don't, but I wish I had.
Yeah,
I can't afford to buy a bug out location or buy some land because if I could, but in that case, I would probably need. To pay maybe for, let's say, 6 acres of land with a summer house or whatever. I would probably pay 2.5, maybe 3 million.
Wow. Okay, I complain about our price over here. Wow. All right, you're talking about 3 million US.
No, Swedish.
Okay. All right. So what's the conversion?
Well, 3 million, that would be about, what can it be? Over $300,000.
Okay.
I guess.
Still, yeah, for 6 acres, that's still kind of crazy. Yeah. You just have to. Hey, man. You missed your chance. You should have just went down to Afghanistan, got on a plane, and come on over. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd sponsor you, man. You know what I'm saying? We'd sponsor you. Come on. But yeah, wow. So roughly 50,000 an acre is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's really expensive here in Sweden. So.
Wow.
If you're gonna get a decent house here, you have to pay 1.5 million. And
yeah, well, it's
for the house
cool.
and nothing more.
it's going that way now. It seems to be going that way here. It just keeps going up and up. So, but all right. So your plan is to bug in then, where you're at.
As long as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it goes again. Get a good support group. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the Lone Ranger is what I try to tell people. Don't be the Lone Ranger. You can't handle everything.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
I try to gather my family. Well, that's what I can do, and
Yeah.
I might get some my kids, godparents, onto it as well. But and my sister-in-laws and maybe.
Okay. I don't know about the in-laws, but okay. But joke. But just but that's I try to explain to people. I said, look, man, if it goes bad, you can't pull 24-hour guard duty. You know what I'm saying? You've got to have help. You've got to have somebody that can come in with you.
Yeah.
And there are like-minded people out there around you. I keep trying to tell people that there are like-minded people around you, and you just have to look. You just have to look, and then develop a plan. You just got to keep thinking the what ifs. That's what I try to tell people. Keep thinking the what ifs, and I trust me. As soon as you think you've got it figured out, it'll change. It'll change. So. Yeah, it's a bit hard in Sweden, I've heard, is what the milkmaid's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, brother, I appreciate it, and I was honored that you asked me to do this, but I am going to have to run. I'm preaching tonight. As a matter of fact, we have services on Wednesday night, so
Yeah.
I've got to get.
No problem.
All right, but man, I appreciate it. Again, love you, brother, and love the channel. Man, keep them straight in Sweden, man. And if you get a chance, come see us. All right.
Yeah. Will do.
All right. I'm going to leave the studio. God bless all y'all. We'll see you.
Take care. Okay, guys. I think we have to wrap this up. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for stopping by, and stay safe, be prepared. So until the next time, guys, I hope I can get another co-host for the next stream. So we'll see what will be on the next stream. It's okay, CR. I'm going to wrap the things up because I have to prepare for bed. I have to go up early in the morning. I have work to do tomorrow. A lot of deliveries to be done. So thanks, guys, for dropping by. And thanks, Harvey, for taking care of my chat and keep the spamming people out of my chat. So thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, we are Milkmaid. And I appreciate every one of you, okay? So I need to get some ready for bed. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, guys? Stay safe, be prepared, and good night. And I'm out.